We travelled to Banyumas in central Java to get a clearer understanding of the exact process of how this coconut sugar is produced and the people that farm it. This area of central Java is a diverse melting pot of people and cultures who have managed to build a strong community, harmoniously coexisting with each other and the nature around them. We watched the sunrise over this lush and fertile landscape just before we arrived at the small village nestled in the hills, far from the hustle and bustle of cities, where coconut sugar has been farmed on a local, non-commercial level for hundreds, if not thousands of years. On a misty morning, we arrived in this tranquil but vibrant province. We were greeted with warm smiles and an open attitude by the local people. The purpose of this trip was to get a clear understanding of the exact process in which the sugar is farmed and to establish a connection with the people that farm it. Having a series of X amount of trees, the farmer that we visited had 31 trees, which he climbs every day. A coconut sugar farmer will essentially take in 6 times more revenue than if he just sells the coconuts locally, so that can't be a bad thing. Before scoring the new flowers, the farmer collects the nectar from the previous day, which has been slowly dripping into the bamboo containers overnight. He then bundles together the flowers and begins to cut the smallest amount off the tip with a razor-sharp sickle in an upward motion. This part of the process is repeated until all the flowers have been freshly cut, so the new sap will begin to flow again. Yeah, I think it's very important to build a solid relationship with the people that are farming the sugar, because we'll be spending a lot of time together over a period of potentially many, many years, and that we need to all have trust. Which is why we set out to go and meet everybody and watch the process and hang out for a couple of days. That level of sincerity in what you're doing, you will get it back, and that's what we wanted to establish, a kind of reciprocal level of honesty and integrity in the business that we're about to do. When all of the flowers on all 31 trees are scored and the nectar has been collected from the previous day, the farmer returns to the kitchen where the boiling down process begins. This process takes between 4 and 6 hours depending on how much nectar the farmer has collected. Sitting over a hot fire and stirring for hours and hours and hours and climbing trees essentially all day long. Yeah, it was an eye-opener to see the amount of work that goes into just 1 kilo. In Bali and Indonesia, it's been consumed on a sort of local level for hundreds and hundreds, possibly thousands of years, but it's never actually been collectively farmed until quite recently. The coconut nectar is regularly tested for purity levels throughout the boiling process, each step being carefully monitored. In the scheme of sugars and sweeteners, coconut sugar is without a doubt the healthiest option. It's rich in nutrients, in iron, in potassium, in vitamin Bs. It's also a completely sustainable product. It causes no harm to the environment. I didn't know about it until a few years ago, and within 2 cups of coffee, I was already sold without knowing all of this, just based on the flavour. It has all of these attributes which no other sweetener has. Once the coconut nectar has been boiled down into a solid form, it is then heated and tumbled in a large cylindrical heater and slowly sieved. The flavour of coconut sugar is quite unique. Standalone, it's very, very pungent, very powerful. I don't think it really particularly has a strong coconut flavour. It has more of a malt, chocolatey kind of taste. Each gram of the sugar is then meticulously sorted through manually with a pair of tweezers, searching for any scalded individual grains, so the product that is finally bagged reaches the consumer with no imperfections. Apart from being a delicious and healthy alternative to other sugars and sweeteners in tea and coffee, coconut sugar is very versatile for cooking with, in particular with cakes and baking and a variety of desserts. Coconut sugar is also perfect for glazing a Sunday roast, adding a rich but subtle flavour to your dish.